For the aspiring artist who seeks self-expression with pencil and paper, the creative challenge presented by a fresh, stark white sheet of drawing paper can be intimidating. Yet, in the seasoned hands of a highly accomplished illustrator like 82-year-old Arvid Kristoffersen, it's not a problem. In fact, it never really has been for this world-renowned fairy tale artist from western Montana, whose drawing skills were cultivated while growing up in Norway.
I go way back in the time when I was just 2 or 3 years old. And my mother, she was an artist. She was well known over there at that time. And I got hold of some of her pencils and things. Then I was 15 years old. It's an old tradition in Norway in those days that you had to take a trip at sea. So I joined the Merchant Marine for a couple of years. Then I came back to Norway again and I studied art for a while. I was always interested in fairy tale, and I worked for 2 magazines illustrating children's fairy tale stories with trolls and leprechauns and all this stuff. From there on I did wood carving for furniture. I would say that was one of my biggest jobs. Then I started painting in oil paintings. I painted a lot of seascapes because I grew up in a seaport with a lot of ships coming in.
After establishing an artistic reputation in Norway, Arvid decided to travel to the United States in 1952. Living with relatives on a farm near Kalispell, the plan was to stay for 2 years. But after a brief stint in the U.S. Army and more art school, the plan changed.
After I came over here, I went to art school in Minneapolis for 3 years, and I got an invitation to come to Anaheim, California, and bring my portfolio with me and have an interview with Walt Disney. But I was a little reluctant to go. Well, it's good, you know, and too many people and too much traffic.
In the end, what was intended to be a short stay abroad turned out to be a lifetime. And through it all, whether it was creating and restoring artwork for an historic courthouse in Havre, or a well-known mansion in Kalispell, or even for Sons of Norway halls in Montana and North Dakota, it was always Arvid Kristoffersen's broad-ranging artistic talent that sustained him. Today, nearly 60 years later, while time and age have slowed him down, he continues to do what he loves most, sketching trolls, a deep-rooted Scandinavian tradition that goes back centuries.
Trolls date back to probably even Viking times. Trolls are described as any size, but they have one characteristic in common, and that's that they are all ugly. They have beady little eyes and big noses with bumps on them, and their ears are big and floppy, and they're dirty. In fact, so dirty you could grow rutabagas in them. So the troll is just kind of an unruly, sloppy type individual. So I know if you go to Norway and you're called a troll, it probably meant you weren't a very nice person.
What distinguishes Arvid Kristoffersen's trolls from the more traditional troll is not their appearance, but rather it's their disposition.
I like the happy trolls better. They live like people do. Most of the pictures I do are have a story behind it. Like one picture, trolls, they have to stay inside before sunup because then they might turn to stone. So I draw a picture where the sun is just about to come up in the horizon, and the troll family, they're rushing to get into that cave before the sun rays hits them. I start out with pencils, and then I work myself up. You start out with the simple details, and I change it and change it and change until I get the picture I want. And then I colorize it with the watercolors or crayons or the Prismacolor pencils. So it's kind of fun to draw it, and I kind of laugh. A lot of times I sit and I laugh at my own pictures, and people tell me they're ugly and cute at the same time.
Having lived in Kalispell now for over 40 years, Arvid is proud to admit that many of his happy troll illustrations have and continue to be inspired by the locals.
When I came to Kalispell, I used to go down to a place downtown called Sykes Restaurant. And a lot of farmers and ranchers used to come in there and drink coffee, and they were a perfect fit for troll drawings. And so I sketched them on quick sketches, and I take them home and then I work on them later on, and then I bring them into my troll pictures.
Every now and again, when he needs a break from the pencil, Arvid still ventures out to his wood shop to carve a troll into a soft piece of wood. But carving can be tough on a young artist, let alone an artist in his 80s. So these days, Arvid spends most of his creative time at his drawing table, surrounded by a collection of his past artwork, including various oil paintings, a wall full of wood carvings, and of course, plenty of troll illustrations. Together, they represent a small sample of a lifetime body of work that has earned Arvid Kristoffersen recognition, not only as one of Norway's best ever fairy tale artists, but for introducing the world of trolls to Big Sky Country.
Well, Kalispell area, they're pretty much like Norway. They're with the mountains and the trees and the lakes. But the trolls are missing, so I would say I brought the trolls into Montana.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.